This is a race that is being determined right now as we speak by who is showing up at the polls. The early voting is a little bit lower than it was, of course, for the general election. That'd be normal in any election that's not a presidential race, but this got so much attention, and you have to wonder if the Democrats needed to hit that kind of a number to win these elections, which neither of them did. They were both behind, and in the jungle runoff, if you combine the Republican vote, it would have beat Warnock. And Purdue beat Ossoff, but there was an independent. He didn't get to the 50 plus 1%, which Georgia has a rule. No rule like that in this runoff, by the way. It's the winner is the winner.
This is not a situation where you're going to be guessing on how important this is. This 2 Senate races in the state of Georgia makes Georgia a national race. Why? Because the control of the United States Senate is literally at stake.
It will be whether or not Georgia Republicans and Georgians who also are more independent, who think that there should be a check on the party in power.
Well, that's what it is.
Especially show up today. And that is going to that's it. There were not enough early votes that came in that make it that hard for Republicans to win. But you cannot win if people don't show up.
If the Republicans lost the Senate, the Democrats would have control of the House, the Senate, and the White House, which means at least for the next 2 years there would be unfettered and unrestrained control of what the policies in Washington come out to be.
In history, I can't think of 2 more important U.S. Senate races. They could check. I mean, one, you have a check on the left. The other way, it's what Chuck Schumer says, change America. Now, it'd still be tight majorities, but still very different to be in the majority versus the minority.
If we don't maintain control of the Senate, that will give the Democrats the opportunity to fundamentally change America. That's what Chuck Schumer has proposed that he wants to do. First take Georgia, then change America. But it won't only happen in America. This is going to change our posture around the world. I was most honored to serve as our U.S. ambassador to Japan. The world is hungry, is desperate for American leadership. We can't go back to, quote, strategic patience that allowed North Korea to ramp up. And we've got to be in a position to push back on China because they continue to mount their aggression militarily, economically, diplomatically. It is absolutely critical that we have strong voices in the Senate with a majority. And if we don't, the Democrats are going to come in and undo the 2017 Tax Act. That was what put the American economy on a path to become the greatest, fastest growing economy in the world. They want to take that down, raise taxes. Every business person knows the last thing you do when you're trying to recover from a recession is raise taxes. This is what the Democrats want to do. Raise taxes to take away our freedom. That's not where America needs to be right now.
Tonight being 3 a.m., do you think we know?
The CNN and all of them are hedging, saying we're not going to know. It took 10 days last time. I don't think the Georgia officials can get away with that this time. I do not think so.
They don't want that.
I think late tonight, early this morning. What do you think, Andy? I think we know.
I think we're not going to have that kind of shenanigans that happened last time where we wait until Fulton County and DeKalb County decide to come in. There's too many people looking at this. They're going to have to vote and make some decision as to who the winner is pretty quickly.
Because the eyeballs are on this, and they're not going to be able to tell poll watchers to leave while the counting's going on. None of that's going to be stood for. There's too many lawsuits, too much. This is what he said. Take a listen.
Do you think that this race will be able to be called tonight?
Depends how close it is, but most likely it'll probably be tomorrow morning. It really depends how many absentee ballots. That's why we've been pushing the counties to do early scanning of the ballots so they could just finish up the tabulation tonight. But you have absentee ballots come in today, and we expect a strong turnout.
I'll tell you what they better not do. Stop the count so workers can go home and then resume it the next morning. They better stay there until it's done, even if it's early morning on tomorrow.
If I'm Georgia and I'm an elected representative, a secretary of state or a governor, I make sure, listen, I don't care if it's 4 o'clock in the morning, nobody stops because mischief starts when things stop.
It's one of those seats would keep the balance of power with Republicans, but it's unlikely that you're going to have a lot of voters say, I'll vote for this Republican, I'm going to go in this race and vote for a Democrat, because both sides have been campaigning together. They've unified their accounts financially. So if you donate to one of these, you've seen that it's donated to kind of both. You're donating to like Purdue, Loeffler together, and then same with Ossoff and Warnock. So they have combined.
Yes.
So there's not going to. It's different than presidential, where people vote differently for president than they do for state races and things like that. So I think it's either the Democrats win both or Republicans win both, and I think it's anyone's to win right now.